They'll smile at you, laugh at your jokes, even like your posts. But when you leave the room, when the call ends, when you're not around, something changes and no one tells you why. You're not being paranoid. You're just missing what most people never say out loud. Because the truth is, most of us are walking around completely unaware of how we're making other people feel. You could be turning people off, killing your likability, destroying trust, and no one will ever tell you, not your friends, not your coworkers, not even the people who love you. Instead, they'll do something else. They'll drift, they'll start replying slower, stop making plans, or just fade out completely. And you'll be left wondering, what happened? What did I do? This is the social trap most people fall into. And it's almost never about being rude, toxic, or fake. It's about blind spots, tiny behaviors that push people away without us realizing. Maybe you always have to win the story. Maybe you give advice when people just want to vent. Maybe you dominate conversations without meaning to. Maybe you fake interest to be polite, but they can feel it. Sound familiar? These aren't bad habits. They're just invisible ones. And in today's world, where attention is currency and connection is rare, those little missteps cost more than ever. Here's what makes this even harder. People won't call you out, because confrontation is uncomfortable, because they think you won't take it well, or maybe because they think you won't change. So they don't tell you the truth, they just leave. But the good news? If you can start spotting these habits, you can change everything. You can start building real trust, real connection, and a presence people want to be around. In this video, I'm going to break down subtle habits that silently sabotage your relationships. Habits that make people secretly pull away, even if they like you, even if they care. And most importantly, I'll show you how to flip each one into a behavior that earns respect, deepens connection, and makes you magnetic in any room. So if you're tired of being confused by silence, if you're ready to take control of how you show up in the world, stick with me. We're about to uncover the social truths no one will say to your face, but everyone's been thinking. If this resonated even a little, do me a favor and hit like. And if you want more real strategies to level up how people perceive you, subscribe now. We're just getting started. Let's start with the one behavior that ruins more first impressions than anything else. And the worst part? It often comes from trying too hard to connect. Over-explaining, over-justifying, over-talking. Now let me be clear, wanting to be understood isn't wrong. But here's what happens when it goes too far. You start talking in circles, repeating the same point again and again, filling silences, explaining why you're saying what you're saying, just to be safe. But to the other person, it signals insecurity. It screams, I don't trust that you see my value, so let me prove I'm worthy. And people pick up on that instantly. Think of conversations like a dance, when one person tries to lead every step, overcorrects every move, and panics when the rhythm breaks. It stops feeling fun. It feels like pressure. That's what over-explaining does. It turns light interactions into heavy ones. It drains energy instead of sparking it. And often it masks something deeper, the fear of being misunderstood, or even worse, the fear of not being liked. Here's what's even trickier. Over-explaining is usually driven by good intentions. You want to be honest. You want to avoid being misjudged. You want to show people your why. But intention doesn't erase impact. And the impact is this. People feel smothered, like they're being cornered into validating you. That's why this is the first silent reason people start pulling away. They won't say anything. They'll just quietly decide you're exhausting to be around. Now, let's flip it. Here's the reframe. You don't need to defend your every move. You don't need to apologize for your thoughts. You don't need a PowerPoint presentation behind every sentence. Say less. Mean more. Practice trusting your voice. Let silence do some of the work. And when you do speak, speak with calm clarity. That confidence will do more for your social life than any explanation ever could. Because when people feel ease around you, they lean in, not away. You might think the fastest way to earn someone's respect is to help them, to give advice, to solve problems, to offer answers. But here's the hard truth. Giving unsolicited advice is one of the fastest ways to make people resent you, even if you're trying to be kind. Let that sink in. Because this one's a trap for the nice ones, the fixers, the problem solvers, the ones who always want to make things better. But here's what you're missing. Most people aren't looking for a fix. They're looking to feel heard. And when you skip over that moment, when someone is vulnerable with you, and you jump straight into have you tried, or you just need to, or here's what I'd do, it feels like a dismissal. It tells them, I'm uncomfortable with your emotions. Let's fix this fast so I don't have to feel it with you. And the result, they pull away, not because they don't appreciate you, but because they don't feel emotionally safe with you anymore. Think about it. If someone told you they were feeling anxious or overwhelmed, and your first response was, just meditate, get more sleep, you need to be more disciplined. Even if those things are true, they don't land, they don't connect, they create distance. Here's why this happens. Giving advice makes you feel useful, but receiving advice can make the other person feel small, like their emotions are a problem to fix, not a reality to hold. So what do you do instead? You validate first. You say, that makes sense. I can totally see why that would mess with your head. Thanks for being honest with me. You sit with them in the mess, just for a moment. And then if they ask, you offer a thought, not a solution, a thought. You become the calm, steady mirror, not the frantic repairman. Because people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And when people feel deeply heard, they connect, they trust, they stay. Most people don't need your wisdom, they need your presence. It sounds small, but it's everything. Let's step back. You've just uncovered two of the biggest silent killers of connection. Overexplaining, which sends insecurity into the air like static, and unwanted advice, which masks itself as kindness, but often feels like criticism. These are behaviors most people never get called out on. Why? Because people hate conflict more than they dislike the behavior. But now you see them. And when you see something clearly, you can change it intentionally. So let's get tactical. Here are 3 small shifts you can make this week that will instantly change how people feel around you. Shift number 1. Speak with fewer disclaimers. Drop the I'm not sure, but drop the this might sound dumb. Every time you soften your words like that, you train people not to take you seriously. Speak with quiet certainty, not arrogance, just presence. Shift number 2. Validate before you advise. When someone vents or opens up, hold space first. Don't solve, don't fix, just feel with them. Say something like, wow, that sounds brutal, how are you holding up? It takes 5 seconds, but it tells the other person, you matter, I see you. Shift number 3. Get comfortable with pauses. You don't need to fill every silence. A beat of stillness shows confidence. It gives people room to process and trust your words more. Silence isn't awkward, it's powerful. These shifts seem small, but when you start stacking them, you show up differently. You speak less, but mean more. You become the kind of person people gravitate toward, not away from. And here's the best part. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to peel back the noise that's been covering your real self. People don't hate you. They just don't connect with the version of you that's overcorrecting, overperforming, or overcompensating. The moment you start showing up with calm clarity and genuine presence, everything changes. People open up, they mirror your energy, and they begin to trust you on a deeper level. So, which of these habits hit hardest for you? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. If you found value in this, go ahead and hit like. It helps this message reach more people like us. And if you're serious about mastering the art of self-awareness, influence, and deep connection, subscribe now. Because this isn't about being perfect. It's about being powerful without trying so hard. Let's unlock that version of you together.